the idea of Project Amsterdam sort of appeared or was conceived in 2017, and the first edition was done in August, and then the selected candidates were invited for a Project A week in October, tied in together with the World Summit AI that took place in Amsterdam for the very first time. And so this time around, we're doing it, well, we're now actually in week number 3 of the campaign. We have 3 more weeks where you can apply. And then if you're selected, you'll be flown in to Amsterdam for a week in May and get to attend the TheNextWeb conference. So pretty exciting opportunity and pretty exciting campaign to work on especially together with VanHack this time around, because the first time around it was pure coincidence that we did it, like that we even collaborated together. But this time we're doing it properly and like full force. So super happy that you shared your community and you opened your community to this campaign. So in a nutshell, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah. So that is a little bit of overview on Project A and how it got started. So I noticed some people calling out which country they're from. So I see a bunch of Brazil in the house. We got some Nigeria in the house. What country are you from? This is your chance to do a country shout out.
Indeed, we have quite an international crowd here as well.
Yes.
We have 2 Dutch people, of course. Fionna is American. Yeah, I am from a little country called Moldova in East Europe, and then Egle is from Lithuania. So quite an international bunch as well.
Oh yeah.
Brazil.
Oh wow. Chile. Nigeria. I saw Italy, Pakistan, India. Okay, we're getting global over here. This is nice. All right. Good stuff, guys. We have Brazil, USA. All right. Some more Italy, Ghana, Venezuela. Someone wrote Brazil again. All right. Thank you, Marcio. Moldova. You're representing for Alexandra. Okay? All right. So, I get a lot of questions on the Slack boards from VanHackers about like, hey, Fionna, what do I have to do to apply, right? Because if you haven't watched the video or you haven't read the website, please go to Project.Amsterdam. So Project.Amsterdam. And you will see, I would start with the video because video is pretty cool. It gives you some good snapshots of the city of Amsterdam. Like right now we're here in the TQ office building. And in this space in general is actually set up and is a partner with Google, right? And then it's also the home of the TheNextWeb offices, which are the minds that put together the big conference that you will get to go to if you are selected as one of the 10 participants for final stage interviews with one of our 10 hot companies that are hosting the opportunity for you to get a job there. So we actually, let me see. We want you to apply through Project.Amsterdam, but your application is actually going directly to the employer this year. All right, so that's something cool and different than last year. Last year, there was a bit of a process. This year, you're literally going right to the employer.
Yeah, to give you a full disclosure, we are not screening the applicants ourselves. So the only step you need to fulfill on Project.Amsterdam is fill in your email. And then once you do that, you will be redirected to the companies, each of the companies' recruitment space, where you can proceed with your application. And each company has a specific process of what you have to do and what you have to, what information you have to provide. Some of them have, you just have to apply with your LinkedIn profile. Some of them obviously ask for a resume and motivation letter. And then in later stages, you would either need to complete a HackerRank test or any other sort of case or assessment by the company. So it differs quite a lot. So if you are very committed and actually committed to apply and to relocate to Amsterdam upon getting selected, you have to go through the entire procedure, how a company wants it, basically.
Yes.
So please do, like, of course you're welcome to contact us with any sorts of questions, but do not send your resumes to the info address on Project.Amsterdam, because we do not screen the candidates ourselves, and we do not make any sort of decisions when it comes to choosing you guys.
Absolutely. So just to catch everyone up, a little bit of Q&A that's happening right now on the actual webinar. And for those of you who are live streaming in and you want to jump in on the, on the questions or the webinars and things like that, I'm actually having Khaled send out the link, because I'm not sure if everybody actually got the actual link to hop on the Zoom call. Looks like some people did, but maybe not everybody did. And then you can also ask a question on one of the live streams. All right, we have 36
Indeed.
people on the VanHack live stream right now watching it live.
Yeah, you have the VanHack live stream on Facebook, and you also have a live stream on Startup Amsterdam's Facebook page. So
that's how we roll.
And actually, I can see the questions on Startup Amsterdam's page better from here. So just as a quick tip,
yeah,
we'll be able to answer them.
And yes, we did get one question there. Will this video be available to watch later? It should be.
It should be.
That's the answer to that. All right.
But that doesn't mean that you can leave right now.
I know, right? Can't make any guarantees. So we have a question here. Some of our questions have actually been answered by the team, and thank you, Rodrigo, awesome VanHacker, and also Growth out in Canada for answering some of those, and also Nanette answered the question also for the test position, so that's awesome. There was a good one I saw. Let me see. What about Java writers? Do we stand a chance? Fresh Java writers. So I keep seeing, actually, there are some questions about length of experience for some of these positions.
Yeah.
All right. So just to answer that general question, I know on a lot of the job postings, if you guys actually go to Project.Amsterdam /projects, right? Then you will see all 10 different postings. What you won't see on most of the postings, though, are length of experience. There are some that have, I think, like what they're looking for, 1 to 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But in general, if you don't see a length of time on the actual job posting, I would say a general rule of thumb, they're looking for at least 3 years experience, development experience, and experience using that tech stack that's required. So if you don't have 3 solid years of experience, like you graduated, you got your degree, and you've been working for 3 full years in development in a position where you're straight up developing, it's going to be a little bit tough, because there are going to be more experienced people who are applying for these positions. So.
Indeed. However, I looked through the requirements per company as well, and some of them do say that a bachelor/master's degree is preferred. However, it will not
deter them from considering.
For instance, I know that Picnic, one of the companies, has a policy of hiring, diverse talent. So you don't necessarily have to have a PhD to apply. But of course, if you have, let's say, hands-on and on-field, as you say, like in-field experience with the tech stack, then of course, it's totally possible to apply.
Absolutely, yeah. This is quite handy.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them do say senior backend engineer, senior PHP developer, so they do require 4+ years of experience, but some of them do say 1 to 3, and some do say that it is a bonus to have a degree and to have a lot of years of experience, but it's not necessary. So do check it out in detail.
Absolutely. I see someone wrote, I've been in contact with one of the companies of Project A, and they asked me to send my CV to an email. I've sent plus 2 weeks ago. However, no answer to that still. That's it's a great thing to bring up, because when it comes to hiring and the application process, sometimes it can actually be quite lengthy. There are times when you may not hear back from an employer for 3 or 4 weeks, and then they call you and say, okay, yeah, we're interested in taking the next step with you. And meanwhile, you thought, oh, maybe they're not interested, right? Yeah. And then there are other employers where if you don't hear back, in 4+ weeks, then they've moved on, and they simply haven't sent out any notification saying that they're doing so. I would say a good general rule of thumb to know that an employer has passed on your application, if that employer has not written you to tell you so, is after 2 months, you haven't heard anything, it's usually safe to say they've moved on. They're not considering your application at that point. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to every rule, but definitely the 2-month time frame seems to be a good rule of thumb. Anything under that, though, you just never know, because again, recruiting departments, employers, they're bombarded with resumes every day, and quite frankly, many of the resumes don't quite fit what they're looking for, so they have to spend time sifting through these resumes before they can get to the ones that are they want to interact.
And plus, Project Day is such a concentrated campaign that in a matter of 6 weeks they receive thousands of applications and CVs. So do not be discouraged that you do not get a reply, but then again, understand that there is oftentimes 1 or 2 or 3 recruiters max per company. So they do not have the capacity even to process you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. What other good questions? Did you guys find any good questions from your panelist team? How about senior network engineers with automation experience? You got to look at the specific tech stack. Automation experience is great, but you also have to have the required skills necessary. So let's see. What other open? We have 13 open questions. Let me see if I can get to some of these here. Age limit. Hi, everybody. What about age? Is there any age limit? No, there is no age limit. If you are qualified and your experience shows that you are worthy to be considered, then you will be considered. There's no age limit. All right. So don't be deterred if you're 40s, 50s, 60s, or whatever, but you know how to rock it and you can show that your skill set is there. Go ahead and apply. There's absolutely no age limit. A
lot of the companies do indeed have a very broad spectrum of employees. Some do, prefer a more startup-minded and young vibe. But then again, we have a large selection of companies, and a lot of them do not have an age limit.
Yeah.
In their positions.
Good. Absolutely. So we got another question here from, it's actually a pretty decent question that I've been getting quite a bit also on the Slack boards. Guilherme Andre?
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, there it is. There we go. So Guilherme asks, please tell us, what is the biggest gap of IT professionals in Amsterdam, and what kind of developers your companies are mostly searching for? Right now, so you've got 10 different positions right there. They're all very, very different. These 10 companies are really searching for, game-changing positions and game-changing developers to be part of a game-changing company, right? That said, what I've come across, especially recently in Holland, is there is a deep need for especially front-end developers right now. React is so hot. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir on this one. You guys are figuring this out. Lots of requirements for React. There's still quite a bit of requirements for Angular developers also, but React is huge. And also any PHP experience or Java experience, also big. People are also tending now to lean towards full stack developers to be able to take care of the whole shebang, front end, back, but I'm still seeing a really big emphasis on front end right now. Also, .NET is still pretty popular out here as well. So some of the more niche technologies like Scala and Go, I'm seeing a little more of an increase in Go, and then also cryptocurrencies is starting to make a rise here as well. All right, so
when it comes to industries, AI and machine learning and cryptocurrencies, blockchain definitely is becoming more and more in demand. And just to sort of share some numbers with you guys, in the last 2 years, somewhat 10,000 IT jobs have been added to the tech sector in Amsterdam. So the industry here is growing so fast, and so many companies are not only Amsterdam-based homegrown companies are establishing their operations, but also international companies are coming to the city. Like in 2017, I believe 140 something international companies set shore in Amsterdam. So they're looking for developers. Adyen is looking for 150 developers this year.
Yeah.
Elsevier is looking for 120. They need people. And with an array of languages and just of all sorts of skills and experiences.
Yeah, I thank you for that's perfect. Absolutely. We just got a question also from regular user. I have no idea why he signed in as that, but he or she. But a regular user asked, guys, just to save my time, are all roles for developers only? For this project, yes. So to save your time,
Project A.
Yes, Project A. We want the developers. All right. There are certainly like I have a hiring partner who's super awesome down in Rotterdam, looking for designers right now. So if you're a visual designer who's just absolutely 100% amazing, contact me. But other than that, for this project, no. All developers. That's what we need. We need somebody who loves developing too. Like is someone who absolutely loves to do it. You do love to code. You know, do you love what you do? Those are the people that we're looking for. And also people who are really, really interested in relocating to Holland. You know, a lot of the Dutch companies that we work with, they want to know that you actually really love Holland, or Holland greatly piques your interest as a place that you could see yourself living and being there for some years to come. Because quite frankly, many of the Dutch companies take pride in the fact that they are located in the Netherlands. And so they want people who can share that same pride with them and be happy about living here. It's a really cool space. It's a really cool country. You know, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Eindhoven, Utrecht, The Hague. I mean, it's all really cool stuff. And so they want more people who share in that enthusiasm of being here, rain or shine.
Yes, that's a good point to bring up.
Exactly.
But to also sort of follow up on what you said, like they want people who love developing, but in Holland there's also, or I shouldn't say in Holland, but I should say in the Netherlands, because Holland is only two of the provinces. They really need people who love learning, love constantly upskilling themselves.
Yes.
Love getting shit done. So have that mentality of just keeping communications and just everything that you do at work very straightforward and very result oriented. You have to be a team player in the majority of cases, and like in Project A especially. So if your profile matches any of this, you should definitely consider this. Absolutely.
And speaking of, here. Should I apply to more than one? Oh, hey, Nanette, over here, Nanette. Oh, there we go. Also on the screen. Nanette just got us hip to a really good question, actually, that someone asked. Who was it? Who asked that question? What's their name?
Spencer Shedkins.
Spencer. Hey, Spencer, how are you? Oh, I can't hear you because we decided to do a webinar instead of a large meeting. Anyway, Spencer's really cool and very sweet, by the way. But that said, obviously he's a member of the VanHack community. Spencer asked the question, hey there, should I apply to more than one position? I mean, for different companies, right? Or can I apply to more than one position, right? Absolutely, if your background, if it makes sense with your background. Now, based on all the differences in these positions, the chances of you being able to apply to all the positions are pretty much nil, right? But there certainly are or could be some crossover positions where your tech stack, your specialties meet the requirements for company A as well as company B and C maybe. So don't be afraid to apply to more than one. Again, your application will go directly to the company. So each individual application is funneled to that company's applicant tracking system. And so they won't know actually that you applied to a different company. And it'll be up to you to decide if you make it to the final rounds, decide which one you want to come there on behalf of.
Yeah, guys, don't think of it as a lottery that the more you apply, the bigger the chance that you will get selected. No, it's like with any other job vacancy or project. If you apply and if your profile matches the vacancy description, then you will get invited for an interview or a next stage of the application process.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. All right, let's see. I'm also correcting code. Okay, all right. So real quick, while we are,
should I then message Pedro?
Oh yes, please.
In 5 minutes we can call him.
Yes, please message Pedro. We are actually going to have a little surprise guest. I was kidding. It's like our little talk show right now. It's great.
This is our ace.
Yes, ace in the pocket, right?
Yeah.
So we have Pedro, who is one of the developers from last year, Project A, who was actually selected. He was flown to Amsterdam, and he was selected by Adyen, actually.
He is one of our success stories.
Yeah. So he is actually still working with Adyen, or at Adyen, I should say.
Yeah.
And he's going to call in, and he is going to say hello to everybody. And I made him a panelist. Is he going to log in, or is he going to phone call in?
No, I believe we're going to give him a phone call, and then we'll ask him to introduce himself and to share his experience with Project A and how his relocation basically took place.
Yeah, so we'll put him on speakerphone for everybody.
And you can actually see him in the video if you watch the trailer. He's the one cycling to work.
He is, yeah, he is on that video. But he's in there. All right, good. So while we're waiting on that, while we're waiting on Pedro to call in, let's see, what about creative designers are also free to participate on the project too? Richard, I see your question about creative designers. Again, I want to just reiterate, this Project.Amsterdam has all 10 positions are for developers. So take a close look at the requirements. If you're really not a hardcore developer, you're more so a designer, they'll be able to see that. So it may not be worth it to apply if that's not really your strength. Your strength is really design as opposed to development. All right.
That being said, Richard, like Amsterdam has a bunch of opportunities.
Yeah, and if you're an amazing visual designer, talk to me. I have a client that needs you. All right. So I'm still scouring the earth for the best. I found 2 that were amazing, but one got hired, and so we need one more. So that was pretty awesome. Okay, about the degree, is it mandatory for the visa process? That's a good question, right? From Nazareno. All right.
That is a good question.
Yeah, I don't believe it is actually. Yeah,
no, especially for the test drive week that you will come over. That will be a regular tourist visa, right? So it depends, of course, on the country, but I do not believe that you need to have a degree to enter a country.
Yeah, no, not at all. And for the actual position, to get the visa, that you would likely come over, should you be the successful candidate that the client wants to hire, the visa that you would come over on would be the highly skilled migrant visa. And on that visa, it doesn't require that you have a degree per se. It just requires that the client could not find qualified talent within the country for a specified amount of time, and that the position that you will be doing is a highly skilled, specialized position that many people are not able to do. And quite frankly, that is you guys. You guys are amazing.
Indeed.
All right, cool. Done, answered. All right. All right. Someone, Adewale said, I envy developers right now. Me too, Adewale, me too. All right.
I've seen a lot of these kind of messages actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right. So while I'm, my wife is a Portuguese, so this does make the process easier to work in Amsterdam. Does anybody know the answer to this question? This is actually a quite interesting question for someone whose wife is a Portuguese citizen.
Well, since Portugal is in the European Union,
Then,
duh.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, okay. So even if his or her, like, if his visa is like from, say.
So if you're not from the
Chile
EU,
or something,
but she is from the EU,
it's okay, right?
it's okay.
It still works pretty seamlessly. It's actually, it'll be a lot easier than if neither of you
were a European citizen.
Yeah,
Definitely.
great question. I like this Q&A thing. This is pretty awesome. All right. What are the chances? Okay. What are the chances of Africans who have the needed experiences in a particular area to be hired? Just as good as anybody's. Godfried? Yeah, just as good as anybody's. They do not discriminate per se. Totally kidding. I do not discriminate. But really, if you're from Africa, if you're from Venezuela, if you're from China, it really doesn't matter. If you meet the requirements then
if you meet the culture fit
yeah,
of the company.
Exactly. Requirements, culture fit. Speaking of culture fit, this is probably a good time to mention this.
That's good.
So in Holland, right? So I'm from the USA, yay, right? But in Holland, it is imperative that when you're working for a startup or a scale up, that you fit within the culture. The reason we say this now, what does culture fit mean, right? What does that even mean, right? It just means that really you're able to get along well and easily. You're able to communicate and collaborate well and easily with your team. They are huge on that here in Holland and in the Dutch culture. Dutch culture values everyone's opinions. They also value everybody being able to get along. And so that is actually a big thing. You could be the most amazing developer ever, but if you're abrasive to the culture that's in that company, it will be a no-go. You know, it won't work. So just a heads up for you guys. Be nice. And then you'll probably get in. Just be a nice person. So yeah, let's see.
Should we call Pedro then?
Yes, let's call Pedro. Making that call now. Let's hear this.
I hope we are able to hear him.
Okay. And then I see another good question that I want to answer from Robson, actually.
Hello.
Hi, Pedro. This is Alexandra from StartupAmsterdam.
Alexandra, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good too.
Right. We are well into our webinar, and we were just wondering if you would like to introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure.
Yeah. Real quick before you do, Pedro, could everybody hear Pedro on this call? Can you guys hear him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Go ahead, Pedro.
Okay. Hello, my name is Pedro. I'm from Brazil. Last year I participated first time on Project.Amsterdam. And right now I'm living in Amsterdam, working for ADN. Been an amazing opportunity. It was amazing to come here and realize this goal and moving here to Amsterdam.
And Pedro, how did you come across Project.Amsterdam?
Well, I was following VanHack community for quite some time, and I received an email from them telling about this project. Then I saw everything, all the companies, saw one nice opportunity that I really thought that I fit. So then I applied for it, and rest is history.
And you had to complete a test, I believe?
Yeah, exactly. I completed a test, just some logic tests. Then I had a couple of interviews by Skype, and then I flew here to Amsterdam, where I got 3 more interviews, and then I was offered a job here.
Right. And how did you find the Project A week? So the 5 days that you were here.
Well, I think it was really interesting because it's never easy to move to another country. So to be able to come here to Amsterdam, get to feel the city, get to see yourself living here, and also get a chance to see all the startup life here in Amsterdam, that is such a huge strength here in the city. So it's really nice. I got to see that I could actually see myself living here. So I think it was really good to get this opportunity.
Right. And then once you got an offer from IDM, they assisted you with moving from Brazil.
Yeah. They assisted me with everything, actually. The only thing that I had to do was go to the embassy, deliver my passport, get my visa, and move here, because they helped me with all the paperwork. They helped me with flight ticket, with accommodation here for the first month, and it was actually perfect because I didn't have to worry with nothing. Right.
That's amazing. We have a lot of people saying right now that they envy you.
Yes.
Sorry, I cut a little bit here.
Yeah, so we have a lot of our panelists saying that they envy you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe everyone can have a chance to
Yeah.
come here.
Do you recommend it then?
Yeah, of course. I think everyone that has this goal and move here to Amsterdam should apply for Project Amsterdam because it's a huge opportunity.
Yeah. All right.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for calling in.
Yeah. Thank you, Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for letting me share a little bit my experience and thank you very much.
Yeah. I think
welcome.
you're a great inspiration to our participants of the webinar.
Definitely.
So thanks so much, and we'll stay in touch with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Bye-bye.
Aw, so sweet. Okay, so
I actually spoke to Pedro, and I asked him, like, when you saw Project A, like, what did you think about it? And he said it was the first time that he saw something that made him feel that it would be taken care of, like he will be taken care of as a professional, because he had, I think, 10 years of experience working in Java. So once he found Project A, and then once IDN found him, it was like a match made. And I don't want to be cheesy, but you know, it was a match.
We were being cheesy.
Yeah, but now he lives in Amsterdam with his partner, and getting to experience the vibe and the community here, and I think he's gonna enjoy it. I think
It's awesome. Yeah, I think he already is.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So we also have a question from Julio. Julio asks, oh wait, actually, I lied. Not from Julio. Oh, wait, did you want me to answer the one from Julio? Oh, okay, okay. Let's go.
Scope of the project.
Yeah, both Julio and Emmanuel. There we go. Emmanuel's question was the one I wanted to answer. Is there a deadline for application on Project Amsterdam?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
April 15th is the last day you can apply.
April 15th. Just
So
before
we
your
have-
taxes are due in America.
In America.
In America.
And then once we close the applications, we will, tally the results, let's say, and then hopefully announce the chosen candidates beginning of May. So 1st of May, approximately.
Yes. So they will be announced before the NextWeb conference for sure.
No, several weeks beforehand, of course, because if you come from outside the EU, then you have to arrange a visa, obviously. So that will be taken care of, and then to ensure that you can safely fly in end of May.
Absolutely. And speaking of arranging a visa, I do see that we actually have, while this question is actually a little more specific, I think it definitely deserves an answer. Jose actually is in the Netherlands right now on a tourist visa, and he is getting close to the 90-day time frame in about 1 month. That said, if he were to be selected as a finalist, his question is, what would he do, since he would have to wait 180 days before coming back or something like that. There is an extension that can be filed, but it really depends on like the legality of your situation and what the client is willing to do and that type of thing. But there are extensions that can be made to a tourist visa or to the 90-day stay. Those have to be filed through the IND. So obviously it would be on a case-by-case basis whether or not that would be approved. So I hope that, I know that it doesn't help a ton, Jose, but I hope that helps and sheds some light on at least one option for you. All right, let's see. Only a few positions available at Project Amsterdam. Are there any other openings? Vasil asks, outside of the 10 positions through Project.Amsterdam, are there any other openings? Of course, you could go to VanHack.com or app.vanhack.com. We have plenty of jobs listed there for both for the Netherlands, Germany, and other areas in Europe. But these 10 that we're focusing on are really, really key and critical to, they're the only ones in the contest, but they're key and they're critical to you having the opportunity to help shape something big that's happening here in Holland with each of these companies. Each of these companies are great. For instance, Adyen itself is considered a European unicorn. So
first
these are
Dutch unicorn to be.
First Dutch unicorn.
Yeah.
How about that? Wow.
And
Booking.com isn't considered a unicorn.
No, Adyen was the first.
Oh, they came before.
Right, Annette?
Maybe, because
I'm not butchering
I don't know.
Adyen is the
I think
first.
you're probably right.
I think so.
I'm gonna stay out of this.
We
one,
have
actually.
a couple, but Adyen definitely is in the the ranks. But and just recently it got announced that eBay chose them.
Yes.
Instead of PayPal, so they're expanding quite rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
But we have, we've been talking about Adyen too.
Too much. There's so many other
the
companies. It's not just
we
that.
have a lot of others. Like we have Picnic,
Really?
for instance. Picnic is growing massively. They just announced that they are entering Germany. They're like, each city that they enter, they reach capacity fully, and they do not have the capacity to serve their new customers. And they're basically, what they are is an online grocery delivery service. So super cool, super tech forward, and they try to automate their entire logistics basically. So personally, I think they're going to be Europe's Amazon, but that's just me. I called it, so don't call
it right now.
Yeah, calling it right
Replay
now.
this webinar. So I saw someone. We got a fan of Molly out there. So that sounds so wrong. All right, there's a company. Also, one of the 10 companies is Molly.
Payments.
Okay, they just go by Molly on there. Anyway, so anyway, moving on. Okay, so we're great companies. BTC.com, huge, dealing with mega things. Yeah, absolutely. So plenty of amazing companies. I did see someone else mention that they saw or noticed a lot of Python, Django opportunities in Holland. Absolutely, you are correct. Left that out. Thank you. So yeah, there are lots of opportunities there too. Good. Okay, so we have time for maybe 3 or 4 more questions max, probably. Let's see. Shall we apply? Okay, we got actually. Apply using VanHack template on the list. So just to be clear, we just got another question on how to apply. Remember, go to Project.Amsterdam, and then from there, first watch the video, because you're going to get amped up about it once you watch the video. And then you can click on, find your project, and from there you can see the list of all 10 projects, especially like Java developers, what have you. You can find your actual position. Depending on the company and what they're looking for, and then apply through Project.Amsterdam, apply through that portal, and that your resume and your application will get funneled directly to the
recruiter of the
recruiter.
company.
Yeah, exactly.
So although you can use a template that I think they're referring to a template that is on the VanHack website, you can use any template, but you have to apply through the system of each company.
Yes, absolutely. Good. So, Anne, I got a question here, because since he put my name in it, I'm going to ask it. Richard wants to know, how can I get to connect with you, Fionna Faulk? I really need to improve my skills. I love to be a developer too. In any ways you guys can help out with that, I will be glad. Thanks. If you're looking to improve your skills as far as a developer, definitely I would recommend. There are a lot of in-person training programs. There are also online training programs. If you're looking to sharpen up your resume skills, your interviewing skills, your English skills, things like that, if you're not already a VanHacker, join VanHack, and then join VanHack Premium actually, and you can work on your English skills and do all kinds of helpful stuff that can get you ready and as sharp as possible to get a job. Okay. Let's see, another question. We already read that.
And if you come to Amsterdam, we have a bunch of tech academies which can teach you how to be a developer.
Yeah, coding skill boot camps. I recommend that everybody on this call go through a React course. It's such a hot topic right now. Please learn React. All right, so let's see. All right. Any other good questions on here? I'm scrolling through. Since all the positions for developers and data analysts, positions for network engineers. Nah. Okay. Okay. So how Yadaraj asks, how would they know that we have applied through VanHack? Again, you're not applying through VanHack. You're applying through Project.Amsterdam. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and put that in the chat. Project.Amsterdam. Boom. All right. Let me hyperlink it for you guys. All right, there we go. So now you guys can just click right on that link. Takes you right to exactly what we're talking about. All right. The market for .NET is good, Fabio. There are certainly many .NET opportunities in Holland as well. Seriously, can understand. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go back up here. I see a lot of questions actually for the types of positions that they're not currently looking for. If you don't see your tech stack as one of the 10 requirements, and you know it doesn't quite fit, then you know best. So don't apply there. Just hop on, go to VanHack website, go to app.vanhack.com, and find there. I promise you, there's probably a position. If you're a developer, there is probably a position that meets more closely your actual tech stack. All right. Let's see. So, let's see. Okay. Do you train the applicants before they are deployed? I don't really know what you mean by that, Daniel. Daniel asked, do you train the applicants before they are deployed? I would need some more clarity on that. The only type of training, so going back to training actually, in Holland, you know, Alexandra mentioned to you guys earlier that training is a really, really important thing in Holland and to the Dutch, and ongoing learning and that type of thing. There was one thing I wanted to add on that. Many of the hiring partners and clients that I currently work with actually have some sort of a training budget or ongoing learning budget, where, you know, a lot of big companies will say, oh, we have a training budget, or we have a budget where you can, you know, learn. But really, it doesn't actually cover anything that you want to learn, and it's not really easy to get access to those funds to partake in the additional course. But here in Holland, it seems to be the opposite. They make it very easy for you to access additional courses that are actually meaningful and important to you, your career path, and your future. And they make it also very easy to access the funds required to participate in those courses and have them paid for in a timely manner, where you can get those knowledge and skills and continue to contribute more to the company and more to yourself and your experience. All right. So just so you guys know, yeah, it's really huge here. It really is. It's not just something they say. Let's see. Any other, let me see. Are there any, okay. How about permissions? Here's a good question. Michael Borges wants to know, how about permissions to my wife, and what kind of support will be provided if we move out with our family? This is a great question. I actually have a couple of people right now who are in process of making the move to Holland, who we've gotten paired up and matched up with a couple of different hiring partners. So pretty excited for them. The process seems to be just as easy when you have a wife. So if you are actually married, right? If it's your girlfriend, then you're gonna have a couple more hoops to jump through. But if it's your actual wife or your actual married spouse, then it's actually quite easy. And if you have a kid, really the most difficult piece of it really just seems to be figuring out which school they're going to go to, or how you're going to handle daycare and things like that, right? A lot of the companies that help with relocation and sponsoring visas and things like that, they also have consultants or lawyers who can help advise, but they've been through this a bunch of times. What you're going to find is in Holland, the staff, a lot of employees at companies are very international. It's very hard to find a company, at least that's a startup or a scale up, that doesn't have at least somewhat of an international culture and team, right? So multiple people from different countries. So chances are they've done this before. And in doing so, many of them are able to help give you guidance on getting your family here, and they take care of all the visa process for you and your spouse and your child. So that way it's all very seamless. It's certainly not a headache, and it's actually one of the easier things that you'll have to do.
Indeed. And I want to mention that, all of our companies practically practice that kind of thing, that they not only help you as a developer relocate, but also your partner or your family. And we have, as a city, have the Expat Center, the official Expat Center, as our partner. So once you come here as a selected candidate, you will also be given a info session by the Expat Center, or in Amsterdam as they're called. And all of your questions will be answered basically. And the companies will be, of course, there to support you along the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Additionally, just one more thing to note on the whole relocation piece, right? Many of the clients, if they sponsor a visa, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they also offer some sort of financial contribution to help out and assist with your move. So some will comp your flight and even your hotel stay while you're looking to get a place. Some will actually help you get lined up with a place to live before you even get out there. Okay, and then others have different budgets, maybe 2,500 euros or up to 5,000 euros or something that you can use, and then you just have to pay back over time, like a small percentage per month until it's paid up over the course of a year or something like that. So, so there you'll see different packages for relocation, but just about everybody wants to help you make it work and do what they can to help get you here. Because the main thing that we need are talented people in the country to do this.
And that being said, for Project A week specifically, all of the companies will pay for your flights and your accommodation while you stay here for this specific week.
Yes.
And then afterwards, per company, it differs, but definitely they will help you out with relocation packages.
Yeah, great clarification on that, Alexandra. Yeah, remember guys, for Project A, if you are one of the 10 finalists selected, and when I say finalists, I mean based on your qualifications and skills, if you have made it to the final stage of the interview process based on your skill set, and they decide, okay, you're there, then they're going to fly you here, all expenses paid. They're going to put you up in a hotel, all expenses paid. You get to walk around, hang out, visit, the
TheNextWeb.
TheNextWeb, you get 2 days of conference pass.
A bit about TheNextWeb. So it's our, it's the biggest conference in the Netherlands, tech conference in the Netherlands, and it's top 3 in Europe, right? So we expect something along the lines of 15,000 attendees in 2 days. And a lot of very cool speakers and tracks, and there's a startup battle, and there's a bunch of just thought leaders, and it's a great time, and it's the whole community is basically there for 2 days. Startup Amsterdam is there, Fionna is going to be there, so it's the most important thing.
You'll be there too, right?
Yeah, we're going to have a whole booth, and you'll get to hang out with the entire tech ecosystem of Amsterdam and beyond, because it's so many people that I'm sure other cities come and other countries, of course, come.
Okay.
To a question.
Okay, we got a good question from that Nanette has called to our attention.
Yeah.
From Priscilla Power. I like the alliterative name. Good job. And her question is, I did tell a friend about Project A, and he asked why the company would pay you to travel and do the interview for free, the final interview for free. Why? Shall you answer that, or shall I?
Because that is the gist of Project A. That is our value offering to you guys. Let's say if you are eligible and if you are selected and if you match all of the requirements, you get to get this as a win, as a prize almost. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you are the bomb, so here we want to show you how much we want you,
and what you can expect from coming here for good.
Yeah.
Well, for good. Not for good, but I don't want to sound too dramatic, but
they're going to lock you up in a prison and make you write code nonstop all day.
No, relocate, with your partner, with your kids. And actually, we haven't touched upon the fact why living in Amsterdam is so great.
Oh my gosh.
And nobody
We're running out of time,
by the
too.
way. We're running out of time. And I think Joelle very
Okay.
briefly mentioned that, should we run through the vacancies just to sum up? Through the companies, through the vacancies?
Yeah, just the title.
Very quickly. So ADN is looking for a Java developer. BTC.com is looking for a software engineer. Dimebox is looking for a data engineer. eFactory is looking for a full stack software developer. Elsevier is looking for a senior backend engineer. Flow Traders for software engineer with 5 years of experience. Molly Payments is looking for a senior PHP developer. Optiver for low latency software engineer. Picnic for software engineer in automation controls. And Takeaway for senior data analyst. So we have 3 positions, I think, that deal with data, and the rest deal with software engineering, software development.
Yeah, yeah. So take a closer look. Go to Project.Amsterdam. Take a closer look at the position that speaks to you. Take a look at all the positions.
Yeah.
And pick your tech stack. Apply to the one that's closest. That's the closest fit for you. Okay. Real quick, why is it awesome to live in Amsterdam or live in Holland? Really, I live in Rotterdam, by the way.
I live in Utrecht, so we don't even live in Amsterdam, but we're going to talk about why it is so good. And actually, that is a good point, because we don't need to live in Amsterdam to enjoy Amsterdam.
Exactly. I took the train up here today, and
exactly.
I loved it. It was so
I take the train every day to come to work. So it's one of the beauties of the Netherlands that everything is so connected, well connected together, and the train, just the public transportation system is so good that
and efficient.
Everything is reachable within, cities are reachable within 1 hour. And then in the Amsterdam metropolitan area, where you have not only Amsterdam and the canal ring that is like, touristy, but you have outskirts that are reachable within 20 minutes. And you have the Haarlem, which is a very historical and beautiful place. You have Almere, which is a very up and coming area. Eiburg, which is completely built on water. And every area has something unique about it. And it's, it's beneficial for you to live there, especially if you have a family, because then you escape the hustle and bustle of the city. But then you also get to live in the Amsterdam metropolitan area and get to experience the community and the lifestyle here, So that's only one, let's say, USP or advantage of living and working in Amsterdam. But also, do you guys know that the Netherlands is #1 when it comes to work-life balance? Like
I'm
people, your time is respected here. Like if you go to work, nobody will expect you to work until the late hours of the night, you know? You get to go home, experience the things that you still value, spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, enjoy a beer at the canal, and have a nice time.
Absolutely.
The infrastructure, the processes that are in place. I'm basically quoting the video right now, but the people speak the truth. All of those people in the trailer are expats as well. And they've come here and they've experienced, that everybody speaks English. The Dutch are actually the most fluent in English next to Brits in Europe. Full English proficiency, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Dutch is a nice language to learn.
It is. But Fionna.
Don't laugh, it is actually. But you will have a very easy time integrating, because people just, people are able to speak in English with you.
Yeah, yeah.
What did I miss?
I don't think you missed much. You really got the important stuff right.
I'm quoting
in there.
The video.
Basically. That work-life balance thing is so serious, though. Also, they do. The employers do an 8% holiday pay, or some people call it the 13th month. So basically, you get more money than you even deserve for the year. So it's so true.
And 25 holiday days
25 holidays
per year.
I'm in USA, you have to grind and claw and stay there forever to get even 2 weeks or 3 weeks vacation or something. So you start off with 25 vacation and holidays that are paid.
The international community here, Amsterdam has 180 nationalities.
Yeah,
that says something. Everybody is very open-minded to any newcomers, and as long as you are contributing to society and contributing to your community, you're very much welcome here.
Yeah, yeah.
We haven't answered a single question from Facebook.
We really haven't. I just realized that. Someone else just heard a question, but it's kind of like the question that we answered before. If you guys, hang on, project tester support, do you have some No. Let's see if I can answer that one. All right. Hello from Brazil, Canada. All right. Well, look, guys, we're running out of time, but I hope we answered most of your questions. I know there are still some questions out there. These guys over here,
The backup dancers.
woo! Those are representing Startup Amsterdam. They are working, and then Rodrigo also representing VanHack. Thank you. And I think Khaled is actually on this call, or he was listening to the call, who helped us get the marketing out. Look, if we didn't get to your question today, don't let that deter you. Shoot me an email or a message on Slack. Join, if you're not on VanHack, join VanHack.com. If you haven't liked the Startup Amsterdam Facebook page, like the Startup Amsterdam Facebook page. Thank you to those tuning in, by the way, on both Startup Amsterdam and on VanHack Live. Got some people there and there. So guys, there are so many ways to get in touch, but most importantly, take a look at Project.Amsterdam. Go to the jobs page, and find the job that's perfect for you. You still have an opportunity. There's still a chance. They have not made the final decisions. It is not too late. Go and do that, and then send us a question. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. Anything else you guys want to say before we go? All right. Shout out to Ilya Brodsky, CEO of VanHack, and thank you for sending me my lovely T-shirt. All right. For everybody else, if you're on Slack, hit me up. You know where I am. And thanks.
Thank you
everybody.
for joining.
Bye.
Bye.